think Antone's probably opened around 74, 75 or something like that. But Clifford was a really great friend of Angela's and WC. He used to come all our gigs, you know. And after the gig was over, he'd say, well, come down to my place and have some food. And, you know, I've got some equipment set up in the back room. We can get back there and play. His first, you know, he's heir to the famous Antone sandwich shop in Houston. They still, you know, import sandwiches to a lot of different stores in Austin. And anyway, so he was a member of that family that was importing foods into Houston. And then he and I think his sister Susan and his other sister Janelle actually moved to Austin. And like I say, he first opened a sandwich shop. I want to say it was either on Guadalupe or La Vaca over like around 15th Street or something. And so after he asked 4 or 5 times, Derek and I said, okay, we'll go. And so we went down there, you know, and he'd unlock the store and make everybody sandwiches and stuff. And he actually did have some equipment in the back room and go back there and play the blues till, you know, 4 or 5 in the morning. And that's how I met Clifford. And then, of course, he opened his original club on 6th and Brazos. I'm sure history will say exactly what year that was. I think it was around 74 or something. And that was just the best. I mean, it gave me a chance personally to see all those wonderful people. I mean, I've had records of Otis Rush and Albert King and, you know, Fats Domino and all those guys. And he just, there's actually a poster that you can buy at Antone's that shows the list of all the bands he brought into that club the first year he was open. It's just almost like the who's who's of all the great blues musicians, you know. Otis Rush, Buddy Guy, Junior Wells, Albert Collins, Albert King, of course, Freddie King. I think he brought in Ray Charles that first year. He made Muddy Waters several times, Jimmy Reed, Lowell Folsom. I mean, it's just amazing. And for me, being a novice blues player, the way the club was set up, it was the old Kresge's department store. Just a great big rectangular room, plate glass windows across the front, you know, about a 16-foot ceiling, big black and white checkerboard floor. It was just the perfect blues club. And it was such a resonant room. It really sounded like those old blues bands when they were recording. You know, they got that great natural echo sound. It was just great. And the way the stage was, it was about a 2-foot stage. And it was back in the corner, and there was a big long curtain. And you'd walk all the way back and go back behind that curtain, and upstairs you'd walk up some stairs, which were originally the offices for the Kresge department store. They turned that into the Blue Room and Clifford's office up there. So that's where all the bands went during the breaks, or, you know, to change clothes or whatever. But there was an emergency exit down there, so I go back behind the curtain, back to where the emergency exit was, and that's back in the very back corner of the club. And I could just pull the curtain back, and I'm looking at the drummer from the back, you know. He's sitting there, and so I can see what his hands are doing, what his feet are doing, all the stuff that you heard on records. You're going, how's he getting that sound, you know? It gave me a chance to go to school, and if I wasn't playing, you know, I'd be at Antone's every night. I mean, and like I say, he's brought everybody in. It gave me a chance to see firsthand all those great players, and it was just heaven for me. And Clifford was always, I think he actually got a chance to book Jimmy Reed in there. And he said, man, I got Jimmy Reed for 6 nights. I said, Clifford, I don't know if you can sell the place out 6 nights, you know. He said, oh man, Jimmy Reed's, I agree, Jimmy Reed was the best, but I think I got a chance to go in there on a Wednesday night, and there might have been 60 or 70 people there. Clifford said he thought the place would be full every night, which it should have been for somebody like Jimmy Reed, but nevertheless, every time I wasn't playing, there was always somebody wonderful at Antone's. And of course, he always hired the Thunderbirds and the Cobras and any of the local blues bands that needed work. I mean, if he didn't have somebody big in there, he'd say, yeah, come on down and play. And so that was one of my favorite clubs at the time.